And then the other thing is which parts of Zimbabwe, and who exactly is most affected by this government, because that's the problem we are having. It's a government problem.
You know what? I think mostly it's the whole of Zimbabwe, because remember, Zimbabwe, it's mostly your urban areas, which is your cities, your Harares, your Bulawayos, your Mutares, and then you have the raw areas. So everyone is struggling, everyone is suffering. So regardless of where you stay, could it be the urban areas or could it be the raw areas? At the end of the day, if your structural systems are not in place, if your economic policies are not in check and they don't make sense, the whole country is going to be affected. But in this particular case, it's mostly in the urban areas or the cities where people have been saying, you know what, guys, we need to do something about it. I guess maybe it's because in the urban areas we also have access to the media at a more exposed level in comparison to the raw areas, you know. So the guys in the raw areas, maybe they don't have that much information, except maybe if your kids in the cities are sending you information on WhatsApp or you have access to Twitter and stuff like that. But most raw areas, they might not necessarily have an idea of the situation on ground. But you know, everyone is struggling in Zimbabwe. It's a public secret. Everyone is struggling. You know, our healthcare system is not working. Doctors are operating with bare hands. There's no PPE for them. Babies are dying like no man's business. Even on simple things like a simple scissor, a simple C-section. You know, babies are dying. People are going to the hospitals. They are getting turned back because the doctors and nurses are on strike, and you know, generally the infrastructure, it's not it's dilapidated because we haven't done much ever since we took our country back from our former colonizers. We haven't done much, you know. And you know what, our duty was simple. We were given a working system. All we had to do was to maintain and do more.
Exactly.
Maintain
and build on that.
And build on that. You were given working roads. All you had to do was to maintain the roads and build up on that and expand them. You understand? The economy. It was a working economy. It was a working system. All you had to do was to build up on that, you know. Honestly, guys, at some point in time, you know, as a government, you need to want to be associated with a good name, you know. You need to want to be associated with goodness, you know. You've recently made an example of Rwanda just now, or Botswana. It's things that we can see on the ground that, you know, those guys are pushing. Their economy speaks for itself. So in a nutshell, just to go back before I digressed, every Zimbabwean is suffering. You know, our economy is not working. It's not functional. Then you have a few elite people from the regime government, ZANU-PF, who are looting from the masses, who are looting taxpayers' money. You know, every opportunity they get to loot, they loot. Doesn't make sense.
I guess then the only question left is, what can we do? As Zimbabweans, what can you guys do? And as South Africans and the rest of Africa, what can we do? Because clearly now the beans are spilled.
I think as Zimbabweans, you know what, to be honest with you, we need to keep pushing. So the protests, they should not be a one-day thing. Every single day we should protest until something is done, until the government makes a commitment to fight corruption, to stop looting, you know. And also at some point in time, you know what, we can't really fight whilst we are comfortable, because we have options. You understand? As I was saying earlier on, for me, South Africa is always an option, or Botswana, or Mozambique, you know. So we have options. As long as we have options, then we'll keep on, you know, utilizing our options, and then you'll be like, you know what, at the end of the day, as long as my problem is solved, I don't care about the next person. So South Africa has been amazing in terms of solidarity. You know, our friends have been retweeting our tweets. They have been asking, you know, questions as in, Helang, what is going on in Zimbabwe? So that, you know what, the word can go out there and spread as wide as it can. So that, you know what, the international community can also put pressure on Zimbabwe. We can't do this alone. to be honest with you.
Definitely.
We really can't do, because our government is literally committed to stopping the protests. They are literally committed to silencing the voice of everyone who is willing to speak about what's happening in Zimbabwe. But I'm really disappointed with the way SADC and AU have just been quiet about it.
Man, they're too busy eating our monies here. They're too busy getting unnecessary loans for things here. They're too busy.
Because
They're too busy.
I mean, if not mistaken, Ramaphosa is the chair of barking of the AU, the African Union, and I was really surprised at how he blue ticked us. Basically,
Yes,
blue ticked us only to speak about the explosion in Beirut. So there was an explosion in Beirut recently. Then
I saw that.
Then he goes and then he comments on that. But then, Zimbabweans have literally been, knocking every day, tagging him and saying, you know what, you are the AU chair, speak to your colleagues, because you guys, you meet somewhere at some point in time, in your forums, in your meetings, in your gatherings, do something as the African chair, intervene. So it's just one of those things where, we've been crying, we've been shouting. So I think South Africa can offer solidarity in that regard, to say that, you know what, asking pertinent information and getting, the right, the true narrative of the situation on ground, putting pressure on Zimbabwean leaders to say, you know what, guys, you need to do something, because the country is burning and we cannot afford to watch. Because an injury to Zimbabwe is an injury to South Africa. It has impacts on the South African economy, on the Botswanan economy, on the Zambian economy. It has impacts because we'll keep on flocking into South Africa, into our neighboring countries, as long as things are as they are. Which of late has actually created animosity, because now there's just some weird vibe going on between South Africans and Zimbabweans, where South Africans are like, you know what, you guys, you're always here, you are everywhere. You are here and you keep coming, you understand? So I really feel like South Africa should look at the bigger picture and say, you know what, solving Zimbabwe's problems, or participating in solving Zimbabwe's problems, would in a way be helping South Africa to solve its problems. Because then imagine these 3 million people going back home, and the release of pressure on South African resources, on the hospitals, on everything, you understand? So just one of those that I'm just thinking, it would make sense, let me look at the bigger picture. The sooner we sort out the Zimbabwean crisis, then the sooner we can have our country to ourselves. Well, I understand. I don't know. I stand to be corrected. I might be wrong.
For me, I feel like you cannot go and clean someone's house whereas your own house is not clean.
That's the truth.
Definitely. Because look now, Cupcakes blue ticks us when we talk about gender-based violence.
Absolutely.
And his friend Becky Kyle, they blue tick us when you talk about gender-based violence. Where is the ANC Women's League? It's Women's Month. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? The Women's League.
And you know what? Remember, at the end of the day, what's happening here is also like what's happening in Zimbabwe, whereby you feel like your political leaders cannot criticize the organizations that they are affiliated with, mainly because Akiri Kimo Utwang Buroto Bahao. So how are you going to criticize your source of income? You understand? But we need people who are going to come out and stand for the truth, regardless of how much it costs.
For me, I feel like, honestly, if they can decide, okay, we're gonna take the army, put them in the streets so that people stop smoking and stop having alcohol, then clearly you can do something about gender-based violence, because the resources are there. For the real matters, the resources are there. For the Women's League, it's not even going against the ANC or the president. It's simple things that they can do. Maybe like during Women's Month, somebody can be like, okay, during Women's Month, we know we have a lot of girl children that need sanitary towels and and tampons and whatnot. I mean, then that's what we can do. Sex is a choice. Going on your periods is not a choice. It's natural. So shouldn't you protect Shouldn't you protect the thing that makes the sex to happen before you protect the act? You see, it's things like that I'm just like, man.
But you know what?
We need to do better.
Also, my question on regarding that is, how do you get excited to go and arrest people who are drinking alcohol? Literally, you get excited, Kayona, and you even report about it on Twitter pages and in the media that we busted Bomang Mang who were drinking alcohol, they were drinking kombo. And yet, you know what? Literally, women are taking them every single day. You know, they are taking them on the Twitter pages or whatever platforms that they are using to say, we are dying. You understand? The femicide.
We are dying.
Femicide in South Africa, it's a problem that for me, I don't feel like it wants to go away soon until someone comes out and takes a stand. But you have alcohol, you have cigarettes, and then you have gender-based violence. Where are your priorities lying? And also as well,
the priorities are there.
And also as well, why do we need to wait for August for us to release a statement for August? Where are we every single day? Where are the programs of the ANC Women's League? Where are the programs of the EFF, Youth League? Maybe I'm not sure if they have a women's branch, but I think they have a youth league.
Yeah, I think they do.
They do, ne? Yes, all the political parties. Where are their programs? I know they are doing something, but the fact that we are even asking should tell you, Khuri, they are not doing enough.
The whole system is flawed.
They are not making enough noise about their programs. What are they doing? What are they up to? What are they doing? So I know a couple of my friends who work in the ANC Youth League, who are in the ANC Women's League, who recently got admitted, and they are doing something. But we need to make noise. We really need to do more. You understand? So back to what we were saying earlier on priorities. Where are your priorities as a leader? Are you listening? Because people are talking. Do you care? Honestly, do you have a heart? Do you care? Does it bother you? So that's where we are.